Hey guys, Mark McMahon Real Estate coming at you today. I want to talk about Redfin's predictions for 2022 and what I think and what they think, and we'll combine them together and see where we're at. So let's dig right into it, okay? I know my title was kind of clickbaity, but I wanted to get your attention because I think it's important to kind of get an idea of what people are thinking is going to happen, maybe get my opinion on what's going to happen, and hopefully in the comments you'll let me know what you think is going to happen. So the first thing I want to talk about is mortgage rates. Redfin is predicting that rates are going to go up to 3.6%. What does that mean? It doesn't mean a lot, because I remember back when I was a young man, back in the 90s, I believe, or 80s, I can't remember which one, I was paying somewhere around 12 to 15%. So that in and of itself shouldn't stop the market, but it will slow it down a lot because people will freak out. But on an average mortgage, 3.6% is only going to raise your average mortgage throughout the United States about $100 a month. So really not a big deal. But people will make a big, huge, fat deal out of it, especially in areas like California, New York, areas where the houses are much more expensive. It'll make a bigger difference. But for most of us, it's not going to make any difference at all. So I would say keep moving forward, but it will slow down the market, and there will be more houses coming on the market. The other thing they talk about is iBuyers. Now, we've all seen what happened with Zillow this year. Zillow basically got out of the home flipping market or the home buying market. Now, I thought that was a disaster waiting to happen in the first place. They're not set up to flip houses any more than Redfin or Open Door or anybody else is. But we'll see exactly what happens with the rest of the iBuyers. Redfin is predicting that they will slow way down and become much more picky about where they buy and what they buy. So instead of volume, they're going to be going for quality. I happen to agree with that because what they're doing right now is not sustainable. They're going into markets and they're simply buying everything up at premium prices, assuming prices are going to keep going up. And if you've listened to anything I've said in the past, I always say, do not buy based on appreciation. Buy based on the price of that property today. If you're buying thinking it's going to go up, you're going to lose eventually. If you buy based on today's prices and it goes up, major bonus, cherry on top, ring the bell, you win. All right? So if you're buying based that way, awesome. Awesome. Don't buy based on appreciation. Buy based on facts today. Now, if iBuyers stop buying in those markets, how is that going to affect it? Well, iBuyers count for, in some of the major markets they're in, let's just pick Phoenix, for example, they're about 6% of the sales there. Now, that's according to Redfin. I haven't checked that myself, but that sounds reasonable. They're buying a lot of houses. What happens if they stop buying? Well, there'll be more houses on the market. But the thing is, what I'm curious about is, are they pumping the prices up, and will that stall those prices? It could. So if you're in an area where iBuyers are buying a lot of houses, be prepared to have more houses on the market, A, and B, perhaps a slowing in that particular market because of iBuyers slowing down. It's going to freak other people out. I think it's going to be temporary, but be prepared for that. It might be a good time to buy more houses. Keep an eye on it. Another thing they talk about is the Sun Belt cities, which have taken so much of the market share lately. We're talking Phoenix, Tucson, Raleigh, Atlanta, Austin, all these major cities along the Sun Belt where prices have appreciated at sometimes 26% a year. It's impossible for that to continue. But I think personally, and I would agree with Redfin on this, I think they've about maxed out. Now, they may keep going up. I'm not saying that that's going to stop. But the kinds of increases that we're seeing right now, not sustainable. They're going to slow down, and you will have some buying opportunities there. Would I buy there, though? Probably not in those particular areas. Not because I don't like them. And if you're working there, that's great. Look, I'm in LA, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, still buying houses up here like crazy, but I'm buying them to flip, and the occasional really, really good deal we'll hang on to. You can do the same in those markets. I have no problem with that, but don't buy based on the fact that it's going to appreciate 26% in 2022, because that just ain't gonna happen. All right, so where are those buyers going that are not going to be going to those Sunbelt cities? They're going to be going to other areas. And I just happen to know, based on Redfin, what they think. They're looking at more affordable markets right now, like Harrisburg. They're looking at Columbus, Indianapolis. Guys, these are cities that have been moving upward slowly for a while, and I think I have to tend to agree, because I know people buying in each and every one of those cities, fellow investors that are doing really, really well. They're ripe for growth. They have everything going for them that those other Sunbelt cities have at lower prices. Yes, granted, most of them are off the Sunbelt, and they're probably in cooler climates, but I think people aren't going to care so much about that. People are looking to buy a house where they can settle down, put down roots, and be able to afford to live there. So the areas down around the Sun Belt have gotten so expensive, it's not like that anymore. Now wealthy people are moving to those areas, and prices have gone up way too much, in my opinion. So look at some of the other sub-markets, ancillary markets that people have not been looking at. Take a look at them and see what the growth projections look like, guys. I think that's where to look next. All right, guys, the next thing I want to talk about is Redfin is saying that rents will go up 7%. I wholeheartedly believe that, based on the fact that rentals are so hard to find right now. I know people in our area, one of my kids, in fact, is looking for a place, can't find one to save his life. Prices, our rents just increased 9%, I believe, but somewhere between 8 and 9%. And those will go into effect in January or February. And we will be doing the same thing next year. According to Redfin, rents will be increasing 7% next year. So we will keep an eye on that, and we will increase accordingly. I know that sounds terrible, but that is the business that we're in. So we have to keep up with what's going on in the business that we're in. So what does that mean? For me, just in my California holdings, my income went up $24,000, $25,000 this year roughly, and it will go up $24,000 next year. Now this is income I really don't have to do much for. This is my rental income. So guys, owning rentals is a wonderful way to make money, but you got to get in the game. So I suggest you watch a couple of other videos that Allie's going to post that'll help you get into that game. Condos. So condos have been the stepchild of real estate since COVID started, based on the fact that most people are scared to death to live next to somebody. But you'll notice, like New York City, Los Angeles, all the big cities, everybody's kind of coming back. Not everybody, but those cities, the population is coming back. Based on that, condominium sales are starting to uptick. One of the factors that Redfin uses to find out what future sales are going to be is, what are people looking at? Well, as of this last month, Redfin has noticed that when people were looking for houses before, they were clicking off on the condos, right? So they didn't want to look at any condos for sale. They were only interested in single family. Well, that number of people that have clicked off condos has gone down 10%. So it was roughly 30% to begin with, and now it's down to 20 some odd percent. So people are starting to gravitate back towards condos. So here's my prediction on condos. I believe condos will become more popular. Are they going to go up in value? I'm not saying that, but I believe that the condo market will fire back up again. In fact, it is in our area. Even a condo is really difficult to get into right now. But in some areas, condos have been sitting on the market. Condos are a less expensive way for a first-time buyer to get started. So condos are a great, great first house to get. So keep an eye on condos. It might be something interesting to look into. Maybe as a buy and hold, maybe as a flip, maybe as a wholesale deal. But keep your eyes on the condo market and see if those numbers keep reducing. That is an interesting statistic that I wasn't expecting to hear on this. And having said all that, guys, my prediction is 2022 is going to be a cooling market. Is it going to be a cold market? Not by any stretch. I believe the market is still going to continue to go. Houses are still going to be very difficult to get. Even as more houses come onto the market, prices will not go down, in my opinion. Prices will still go up. Don't know how much, but prices will still go up. I'm thinking somewhere in the 3 to 6% range for over the next year. And I also believe that the lack of inventory that we've had will be lessened a little bit next year. But I also believe that we have such a shortage of housing that people want right now that we will still have a hot seller's market. So it's always a good time to get into real estate. This is no different. Just make sure, as always, guys, you get a good deal and it cash flows, all right? Thank you so much for joining us. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to our channel and sign up for notifications. Allie enjoys that. Guys, have a great day and I'll see you next time.